Yeah.
Welcome back to Kanika's Corner after a week's break. Just when I thought I'm getting the hang of handling two babies, something else happens and a week's break has to happen between our videos. But let's talk about today's video. Have you ever felt like, ooh, I don't like this. I don't want to put it in my mouth. I don't like the texture of it. I look at it and I don't even want to touch it. And yuck, what is this? Right? I have many times, and from as long as I can remember, I've had all of these different sensations. And I'm going to talk about all of my sensory issues and, more importantly, how I deal with them. My earliest memories, I remember I was a very finicky child, or I thought I was a finicky child. As a very young baby, I would gag on a lot of foods, not be able to eat much. But as I grew into a teenager, my palate expanded. I still didn't like certain foods, especially the soft, chewy dates, raisins, tomatoes, so many other things. And in a family where we were being taught that you need to eat everything on your plate, this became a little bit of an issue. But thankfully, I had, family members like my mother and brother who would quietly notice that something was on the side of my plate, quickly pick it up and eat it themselves. And that made a big difference. I have a really big need to keep my hands clean and dry. I hate when they're wet and sticky. So, I love cooking, and that has posed a big challenge because especially when I started learning to cook, I was very happy to chop hardy vegetables like carrot, aloo. But when it came to bhindi, pumpkin, anything that was sticky, quite a nuisance. And making chapati dough was a big problem. I love to bake, and I love to bake breads and, puff pastry and all of that. You've got to knead it with your hands. And I would knead it with my hands and immediately want to scrape off the dough. So cooking was quite a challenge, even though it is a passion of mine.
Yeah.
As a student of psychology, we learned the process of desensitization, and I realized that I was the best subject to try it on. 15 years of continuous practice with really slow progress. But you know what? I've reached the stage where I can knead a whole batch of a dough without needing to wash my hands off in the middle. I can, take care of my garden for a full 10 minutes without needing to wash my hands off, and able to try a few more things, right? Able to eat a few more things. And it's just that one of the things that happened is when I started working with autism, I realized that, my finickiness has certain categories to it. I don't like soft, chewy foods, right? Or when something is sticky, I don't like that texture. And it suddenly made a whole lot of sense that, hey, I don't have OCD, right? What I have is sensory issues for specific things. Now, if it was OCD, what would then happen, or obsessive compulsive disorders, what would then happen is that I would be needing to wash my hands off every possible moment. Here, I'm only talking about washing my hands off to remove that particular texture. Once the texture is off, I'm comfortable and I don't need to wash my hands off again. So, a particular reaction to a specific texture or something like that, that is a sensory issue. Versus just to have this need of washing or putting things in a particular order, that is obsessive compulsive disorder. This is just sensory issues, and it became so much easier for me to understand, I don't like this, let me not work with this. I like this, let me do this. And whatever I don't like, I've been taking steps to get better at it. Makes life so much simpler. Let me tell you the secret to the fastest way of desensitization: having children. Now, children are messy by nature, especially young ones. And as a mother, I've had no choice but to deal with them. This doesn't mean that, my sensory issues have gone anywhere. It means that in that moment, I have a choice. Do I deal with my finickiness, or do I deal with the mess that the child has created and maybe the discomfort of the child and the crying child? Instinct has come in to say, hello, let me take care of the child first. I can hold on to my discomfort a little longer, instead of needing to clean myself off immediately after a meal. I clean the child first and then I clean myself. I'm able to do that much. And that is purely for the fact that having children around, you need to take care of their needs first. Also, I want my children to, form their own opinions, try out everything. And being as perceptive as they are, they will notice my reaction to certain things. So what I do at this point, because they are so young, is I just hold back my reaction as much as possible and, allow them to try it out. Allow them to say, do they like it? Do they not like it? Do they want to try it a second time to decide what they want? Now, a lot of people may turn around and say that as parents, we should not school our reactions, that, we should allow the child to get to know the real us. I totally agree with that. But there is also this really fine line when children are young as to how we color their opinions, right? They look to us parents to say, hey, what are you thinking of? Now, if they're going to base their opinions on what we do, then the simplest thing for us to do is just hold back our reaction a little, let them try it out, let them decide, and then we can give them our reaction, right? So simple as that, having children has really pushed me out of my comfort zone in trying out all of this. And instead of, holding on for 1 minute, I'm now able to hold on to my discomfort for 2 full minutes. And that's a big deal for someone with sensory issues. So if you feel that, you have all of these various textural issues, you don't like to walk on certain things, you don't like to do certain things, touch certain things, then have a look at if it is disrupting your life. If it is, then please reach out to an occupational therapist or a physical therapist, and they will help you get over all of this such that you feel comfortable with everything. And there's so much that we can do to just accept our issues and carry on with life. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.